I got a bunch of green beans I harvested, and I want to make some savory tempura green beans with some garlic sauce. It's gonna be good. First I'm gonna make the sauce. I'm gonna get a half a cup of water, bring that to boil. Into that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Have that dissolve. About a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. About a teaspoon or so hot pepper flakes, depending on how hot you like it. A little bit of chicken bouillon or seasoning. I will be putting a little bit of lemon juice, maybe a tablespoon. And a few garlic cloves. And this is coming out of my preserved garlic. And I'm gonna make this very garlicky, so I'm gonna put a little more. I put in about 8 garlic cloves. Obviously this can be adjusted to your taste. I like it spicy and garlicky. And I'm going to take a couple of tablespoons of this, and I'm going to mix in some cornstarch to thicken it. Tablespoon of cornstarch and a little more water, just to dissolve it. And we'll thicken this as it's boiling. And you can see it's already nice and thick. And as it cools, it's actually going to get even thicker. So let's put a little bit of, very little bit of sesame oil to taste. And just cook this for a couple of minutes until the cornstarch is cooked all the way through, your sugar is dissolved, and you can see the nice big chunks of garlic pieces. Let's give that a taste. It's nice, sweet, hot, and I think we need some more sourness in this, so I'm gonna go get just a tiny bit of vinegar. I think a half a tablespoon will do. You can add always more, but you can take it out, right? So a little bit and taste it again. Really nice. We'll set that aside. And now let's work on the beans. Next step, we're gonna make the batter for the tempura. I'm gonna use up these last 3 eggs. pinch of salt, black pepper, scramble this up. We're gonna put in about a tablespoon of cornstarch, a couple of a big tablespoon of flour, depending on how thick you like your tempura. I'm gonna make it thick enough so it drips off your beans or whatever vegetables you're frying, but you don't want the whole thing to just run off either. So it depends on how you want to coat your vegetable, how thick coating you want. We can always adjust later. If it's too thick, we can put in a little milk. If it's too thin, we can put in more flour. Main thing is to mix it up real well. Using a whisk is the easiest to get rid of the clumps. The tempura is ready to go. You'll heat up a frying pan with some oil in it, about a 1/4 inch of oil, and we might need some more later. Here are my green beans that were washed and dried, mostly. Some of them are a little wet, and I left them in one piece. I did not cut them into bite-sized pieces. Now with the beans, obviously I don't want to do it one by one because I'll be here all day. I'll do a handful, put that into the batter, and decide which hand you're going to do with, right or left. You're going to start coating your beans using your hand. That's the most efficient way of doing this. And then you bring your batter over to the fire, to the hot oil, and start loading the pan with your beans. Try to make them so they don't touch, otherwise they will fuse together and then you're gonna have to separate them later. So that will be a load. I'm gonna get a bowl ready. I'll line it up with paper towel just to get the oil, the extra oil off. And that's where I'm gonna put my beans until I'm done frying all of them. Turn them around after a minute or so. It doesn't take much. Once you turn it, try to separate them as much as possible. Turn it down to medium once you turned it on the first run. Because now it's going to get too hot if you don't. Just move them around a little bit. If you have an air fryer, you can probably do that in there, I don't know. You can even do it in the oven, but I think that will be just even more messy. I think this is easier. So because these beans are young and tender, they should cook through. However, if you're making this from older beans or store-bought beans, I don't know, you may want to pre-steam them a little bit before you do this, or they're going to be crunchier, and if you don't mind having crunchy vegetables, it will be perfect. I'm going to take this out and ready for the next round. I'm going to take those big pieces out. If I can get some of that, the crumbs out, so they don't burn as much. Okay, another handful of beans, and same process. I think I can do this in 3 rounds, hopefully. Don't worry about it where it's not completely covered. It's okay if it's only covered partially. It's gonna be just delicious because they all fry. You're just not gonna have tempura 100% on the bean. I'm gonna turn them sooner than before because they will stick together, and I want to take them apart without breaking up the coating too much, right? I'm gonna probably need more oil too, because it does soak up some oil. I can actually put the next round of beans in here already. It's just a big funnel cake, isn't it? So now I'm going to start taking this apart as much as possible so we can recognize the beans. And we know it's not a funnel cake. Okay. As I said, I need more oil. This is good. Use about 30 seconds. Okay, I loaded this a little bit too much, so I'm gonna make sure they all get into the grease. There we go. So it shouldn't brown too much. This is ready to come out. Tempura is supposed to look like a little bit yellowish, not brownish. It's not like fried chicken, right? fish out these big pieces again. You can actually put that into the dish. Last batch. I'm going to try to make sure they get coated with the leftover batter. Massage a little and just start loading. It's really not that hard. The worst part is that you have to stand here at the hot pan, because you can't really walk away from this, right? But it's going to be so delicious. And it's just another way of using up your green beans, because I'm sure you're sick and tired of sauteed, steamed green beans. It's just a way of spicing it up. Okay. Time to fish these out. They're looking very good. Look at that big pile of green beans. This is enough for 4 people as an appetizer or as a side dish, but we're not done yet. So remember, we put a paper towel in this bowl. Let's take that out with the extra grease. We're gonna take our sweet and savory thick sauce and slather this all over it. And we're gonna just toss it with the sauce. And look at that, how saucy this is. It's amazingly delicious. So let's dish some out. And if you like it really hot, take some hot pepper flakes, sprinkle it all over the place, and look at that. Don't tell me you do not like saucy, garlicky, spicy, and sweet, and crunchy green beans. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.